Best Bet is the movie I'm reviewing today, and this movie is executive produced by Ruth Kadiri. The producer is Precious Kadiri, and of course the director is Uche Agbo. Obviously the movie can be found on Ruth Kadiri 24/7. A quick recap of this movie is a very rich sport brat who bet with his friends to be able to win a waitress hat. But also there are twists and turns in between that story or that recap I gave you guys. So if you haven't watched Best Bet, please try and watch it. Now the lesson in this movie is you can actually tame a sport brat. Basically what I'm saying is that the storyline is very interesting, and of course the message you can take away from this movie is you can find love anywhere, and also you can retrain your sport brat. And this movie, if you watch it, you will learn one or two things out of that in that regard. Another thing I love about this movie, let's talk about the cast of this movie. Now Ruth Kadiri is one of the main characters when it comes to her own channel. I mean, most of her movies, when she's in, you know that this is the storyline is more of a standard adulthood, in terms of what she's acting, and this is one of it. It was really interesting. She was very vocal, she was funny, and of course she was assertive when she became a boss in the movie. So again, like I said, the movie has a lot of twists and turns, so you need to watch it. And she was really entertaining. Ruth is someone I really like. Ruth when she's acting poor and being a comedian. She's a talented actress in terms of the roles that she gives herself in her own movies. Obviously she is really talented. I can't take that away from her. Some of her movies may not be good, but her acting skills, you can't take that away from her. She's really good. Daniel Etim is able to transition from the cinema actor or Netflix actor, and also be able to dominate in YouTube movies. This guy is in all field. You find him everywhere, and he's very good as well. And in this movie he was the sport brat. Compare this movie that Daniel acted with the one Maurice Sam acted, where he was a student but also a sport brat. Compare those two roles and ask yourself, who was the better actor? I forgot the title. I think I've done a review on it already. The movie is still on, Ruth Kadiri. The one I'm talking about is also on Ruth Kadiri's YouTube channel. Daniel's role as a sport brat is more entertaining and more intense and more connecting. Like you could feel his character more in what he was doing in this movie, and I love it so much. They showed us a couple of scenes where he became a very good, responsible young man, and I love the way he transitioned to those scenes, and I love that so much. He's a very good actor. I can't take that away from him. Then we talk about the chief. This man hasn't been in a lot of movies. I don't know whether he's selective or he just doesn't get a lot of roles when it comes to YouTube movies. His character is mostly very calm. He's very assertive in his decision and his role that he takes in, but he has a very calm spirit in his movies or his acting roles. He's just calm person, so I can't really say much about his character. But here also he was as calm as usual. Chief Morgan was a very good character in addition. Then we talk about Lillian. Lillian character was an okay character. There's nothing much to say about her character. The scene that I love for Lillian so much was when she came to the bar with Daniel, obviously, and she was really rude. She can actually act, and I love that scene, particularly because of Lillian. Another character that I love so much in this movie, guys, is the girl called Bucky. I don't know her real name, pardon me. She is a very beautiful actress. Before I saw her, I was like, oh wow, she's a very pretty lady, and I love her acting so much. It was as if they gave her last chance to act. She was relaxed in her character whilst delivering it as perfect as possible. She was really good. So yeah, this lady, hopefully Ruth, please cast her more in your movies. She's really good. I love her in this movie, and I love her pretty face. So I would love to see more of her. Then I can base my judgment on her more. But in this movie, actress, she nailed it. She wasn't intimidated or whatever. No, she nailed her role perfectly. I love her. I love what she did in this movie so much. Another thing I love about this movie is the cinematography. Cinematography was perfect. Picture quality perfect. Bright, crisp, camera angles perfect, and of course also the time of this movie is very perfect. Ruth, I know very well, she doesn't use 2 hours plus in her movies. She just goes straight to the point and make sure the storyline is good to how she can deliver it. So this movie, trust me, is not 2 hours, and obviously that should tell you that you're not going to waste much time in enjoying this movie. The thing, guys, I love about this movie is the cast. What I mean by cast is that in a while for Ruth Kadiri using a lot of cast in her movies. She doesn't use a lot of cast. Like, she concentrates on 4, 5, 6, maximum 8, and she has a movie to go. This movie had a lot of characters, a lot of cast, a lot of people to do board meeting. They had to have people come in and out of the restaurant or bar, every character in and out. So just imagine every scene that has to do with the bar. There are different characters coming in of the bar and having interactions with the waiters and waitresses. So you can just imagine the number of cast she used for this movie. And also the last scene. That scene alone could have about 25 or to 30 people in that scene. That should tell you the number of people she had on set. She put in effort in making sure that the restaurant was useful, the restaurant was not empty, because it's a movie set, we had to see empty restaurant or empty bar. No, there were people in session at the bar, eating, drinking, talking, interaction whilst the acting was going on. That was really, really beautiful. Like, most of the characters or the background characters were doing their thing. They were not even watching the camera, and Daniel and the crew and Ruth were doing the main acting, and I was like, okay, that was really good. She can actually put in effort in producing a good movie. So what have been holding her back in most of the movies she has been producing? So I was really impressed with the whole setup, with the cast and everybody in and out of the restaurants that she used. And I love the way all the other cast were just doing as if they were not part of the production. They were being professional. I was like, oh, okay. I was really, really impressed. Kudos to Ruth, and kudos to the worker pass characters. I love everything about that. I don't know why Ruth doesn't give credit to the story writers or the screenplay of her movies. I always look forward to see who wrote the story. I know their names. I don't know whether she writes the story herself, she buys the story herself. I mean, when someone writes the story and you buy it, I don't know whether you own the copyright of the storyline. I don't know how she does it, but yeah, whoever wrote this movie, the person really did very, very. I enjoyed the storyline. So yeah, those are the things I love about this movie. What I don't like about this movie, let's start with Lillian's character. She was not the main character of this movie. She had about 4 or 3 scenes in this movie, basically. I don't know what she was acting in those other 2 scenes. Like I said, the only scene that I love her in was when she came to the bar and she was rude. The other 3 or 2 scenes that she was in, I was like, Is she acting that she wants to be on set? Abi, what exactly is she acting? What she was portraying is, she needed to marry Daniel so that their company can emerge and be successful. So she was in love with Daniel. She wasn't acting like someone who was in love, and the breakup was also easy. So the whole storyline with Lillian and Daniel could have been dealt away with. Lillian and Daniel, that whole imaginary storyline with them could have been dealt away with, because the title says best bet. So with the bet with his friends to get the waitress was the whole storyline. Lillian's character and Daniel, trust me, if without Lillian, the story would have still be perfect. They could have made it in a way that, the father wants this boy to be responsible, and if he doesn't, he'll take away everything from him, just like he did even eventually in the movie. So again, Lillian's character was not needed, or Lillian and Daniel's storyline was not needed in this movie. That whole Lillian thing was basically something that I was not pleased with at all. Another thing that I didn't like about this movie has to do with the last scene, where a lot of people came, because their company succeeded in something. Yep. The whole people that were at the restaurant, the production team or Ruth Kadiri didn't really use all of them to make the movie exciting. Where there's a business party or whatever and everybody knows everybody, this was not the case. Everybody was just seated, and Chief has to greet one or two people, and that was it. Immediately they went into action. Daniel started proposing and stuff. I'm like, nah. So I didn't like that scene because they didn't make use of the characters at the last scene at all. They made them look like props. I was really disappointed, and at the same time, I love it, but I was still disappointed at that. But in all, it's a good movie. This is one of Ruth Kadiri's good movies in recent times, and if you haven't watched it, best bet, do well to watch it. You will definitely enjoy it. Per YouTube standard, actually, you'll definitely enjoy it. And I'm going to give this movie a 7/10. Basic, because I really do not have a lot to complain about it. Obviously, you can tell from what I don't like about it. That should tell you that it's pretty much a very good standard movie per YouTube Nollywood movie. So you won't regret watching it. If you are expecting YouTube standard movie, this is one of them, and the storyline was an okay one. 7/10 is perfectly a good number of rating for this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have watched till this end, I really do appreciate you and your time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next movie review.